My parents didn't miss my Yale graduation. They chose my brother's soccer game. The text arrived at 7:14 a.m. Mom's phone. Dad's words. Can't make it. Tyler's playoff game is today. We'll celebrate later. No apology, no acknowledgement of 4 years. Just Tyler's name where mine should have been. By 11 a.m., I placed their program on the empty seats, Yale's old campus. Row 3, seats 7 and 8, sunlight on vacant blue chairs. Around me, 1,200 families cheered. Behind me, shadows where mine should have stood. I crossed that stage alone while they watched my brother chase a ball. I didn't post anything. My roommate's father did those empty seats, that folded program with their names. 2.3 million views by evening. Dad's law firm saw it. Mom's entire hospital department. Then Yale Alumni Relations started calling them. The acceptance email arrived at 5:42 a.m. on March 29th, 2021. I'd been awake for an hour already, sitting at my desk in my childhood bedroom, refreshing my inbox every 30 seconds like some kind of digital slot machine addict. When the subject line finally appeared, "Your Yale admissions decision," my hands shook so badly I had to set down my phone. I didn't open it right away. Instead, I stared at that unopened email for 3 full minutes, watching the timestamp tick forward. 5:43 a.m. 5:44 a.m. 5:45 a.m. Because once I opened it, everything would either change forever or stay exactly the same, and I wasn't sure which terrified me more. When I finally clicked, the word "congratulations" blurred behind tears. Yale University, full ride scholarship. $68,000 per year. Molecular biology program. All of it was real. I'd done it. 4 years of perfect grades, 3 part-time jobs, 200 volunteer hours, one impossible dream that had somehow become my future. The girl who'd studied by flashlight during power shutoffs because we couldn't afford the electric bill was going to Yale. I called my parents immediately. Dad answered on the fourth ring, voice thick with sleep. "Emma? It's not even 6. What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong." My voice cracked. "Dad, I got in. Yale accepted me. Full scholarship." Silence. Then, "That's nice, honey." Nice. Not incredible or amazing or "we're so proud of you." Not the reaction I'd been imagining for 4 years. Just nice. Like I'd told him I'd found a good parking spot at the grocery store. "Did you hear me?" I pressed. "Full ride. 68,000 a year. I won't have to pay anything." "That's good." He cleared his throat. "Your mother's still sleeping. I'll tell her when she wakes up. Congratulations, Emma." He hung up. I sat there holding my phone, staring at the blank screen, trying to convince myself I'd misheard his tone. He was just tired. Groggy. He'd be excited once he fully woke up. Of course he would. They'd promised me. The memory hit me hard. Age 8. Sitting at the kitchen table with a picture book about Harvard. "Will you come to my college graduation?" I'd asked Dad while he reviewed bills. He'd looked up, smiled, ruffled my hair. "Emma Bean, we'll frame your Ivy League diploma together, front and center in the living room, I promise." Mom had been cooking dinner, but she'd turned around. "We wouldn't miss it for the world, sweetheart. Not for anything." 14 years later, I was still holding them to that promise. My phone buzzed with a text. "Tyler, yo, coach says I made varsity. Starting goalie. My little brother. 16 years old, 3 exclamation points for everything. In the center of my parents' universe." I texted back, "That's awesome, Ty. Congrats." Within 30 seconds, I heard screaming downstairs. I crept to my bedroom door, opened it a crack. Mom's voice carried up the stairs, high and shrill with excitement. "Robert! Robert, wake up! Tyler made varsity! Our boy is starting goalie!" Dad's responding cheer rattled the floorboards. I closed my door quietly. Sat back down at my desk. stared at the Yale acceptance email still glowing on my screen. That word, congratulations, suddenly feeling like a typo meant for someone else. They'd screamed for Tyler's soccer team. They'd said, "That's nice about Yale." I should have seen it coming. The pattern had been there my entire life, written in receipts and missed recitals and maybe next time, Emma. But I'd convinced myself college would be different. That when I achieved something truly big, something undeniable like Yale, they'd finally see me the way they saw Tyler. They'd finally be proud enough to scream. I was wrong. 3 hours later, Mom knocked on my door. "Emma, you up?" I'd been staring at my acceptance letter, rereading the financial aid package breakdown. "Yeah, come in." She entered, still in her bathrobe, coffee mug in hand. Her eyes landed on my laptop screen. "Oh, Yale, your father mentioned." "I got a full scholarship," I said. "That's wonderful, honey." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The same smile she used when neighbors asked about me. Polite, obligatory. "You've always been so smart." "Mom, it's Yale." "I know." She sipped her coffee. "It's great, really." A pause. Then, "Listen, I need to talk to you about something. Money's been tight lately. The mortgage, Tyler's soccer fees, insurance. We're managing, but—" She trailed off. "I know you're going to college, and we're proud of you, but we might not be able to help much financially." I know. I'd known since freshman year of high school. That's why I applied for scholarships. Right, good. Another sip. Also, Tyler's playoffs are coming up in a few weeks. Big tournament. We're really excited. I waited for her to ask about Yale's move-in dates or orientation schedule. She didn't. She just finished her coffee, kissed my forehead, and left. And I sat there wondering if I'd imagined the entire acceptance email. That afternoon, I checked my savings account. $4,347.22. 4 years of birthday money, part-time wages from the library, summer babysitting gigs, every dollar I'd earned since age 14, saved for college expenses the scholarship wouldn't cover. Textbooks, lab fees, travel home for holidays. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I'd worked for every cent while Tyler got driven to soccer practice in a car I'd helped pay insurance on. While he got private goalkeeper coaching, I'd heard cost $80 per session. While Mom and Dad attended every single one of his games, but missed my science fair regional championship because it conflicted with Tyler's tournament. I wasn't bitter. I was just tired. Tired of being the low-maintenance kid, the one who didn't need much, the one who understood when they missed my events because Tyler's were more important. But Yale would change that. It had to. Because if earning a full-ride scholarship to an Ivy League university didn't make them see me, what would? I sent the acceptance paperwork that week. Committed to Yale. Submitted housing forms. Registered for orientation. All of it felt surreal. Like I was playing dress-up in someone else's future. My parents asked if I'd decided yet. I said yes. Dad nodded. "Good, that's good." Mom said, "We'll try to help you move in if we can. Tyler's soccer schedule is pretty packed this summer. But we'll see. Try. If we can. We'll see. Not we'll be there, or we'll make it work, or nothing could stop us. Just, we'll see." I smiled, said thank you, went to my room, and cried into my pillow so they wouldn't hear. I need you to understand something about my family. We're not villains in a movie. We don't have dramatic backstories or tragic origin plots. We're just normal. Suburban Connecticut normal. 3-bedroom house, 2-car garage, parents who work full-time, and kids who eat cereal for breakfast. From the outside, we probably looked fine. But inside our house, there were 2 versions of family. The one Tyler lived in, and the one I survived. My parents are Linda and Robert Chen. Mom's 49, works as a dental hygienist. Dad's 51, mechanical engineer at a firm in Hartford. They met in college, got married young, had me at 27. Then, 6 years later, they had Tyler. And everything shifted. I remember the day they brought him home from the hospital. I was 6, excited to be a big sister. I'd drawn him a welcome home card with crayons, spent an hour on it. Mom had smiled, said it was beautiful, and immediately turned her attention back to Tyler. That moment set the tone for the next 16 years. It started small. Age 10. My birthday party budget was $150. Pizza, grocery store cake, backyard games. Tyler's 4th birthday, 6 months later. Bounce house rental, custom cake from a bakery, goodie bags for 30 kids. I'd overheard Dad on the phone with the bounce house company. $380 for 4 hours. I'd asked Mom why Tyler got a bounce house when I didn't. "You're older, honey. You understand we need to budget differently." I was 10. Age 14. I needed a prom dress. Mom handed me $50. "Try Target, they have nice stuff on clearance." I found one for $45. Royal blue, slightly too big, but I made it work with a belt. 3 weeks earlier, Tyler had needed a suit for his 8th grade homecoming. Dad took him to Men's Warehouse, custom tailored. I saw the receipt on the kitchen counter, $380. When I asked why Tyler got tailored and I got Target clearance, Mom said, "Boys' formal wear is different, Emma. Don't be difficult." I wore the $45 dress, smiled in photos. Learned that difficult meant asking for equal treatment. Age 16. I wanted to join the debate team. National competition circuit, real college application material. But there were fees, registration, travel to tournaments, coaching, $200 for the year. Dad said no. "We can't afford extras right now." That same month, Tyler's travel soccer fees came due, $4,500 for the year. Dad paid it in full. I asked how soccer was affordable, but debate wasn't. "Soccer is Tyler's passion," Mom explained. "He's talented. He might get recruited for college. We have to invest in his future." I joined the school library instead. Free. Quiet. No one invested in my future there, but at least no one actively ignored it. The pattern continued through high school. Tyler got private goalkeeper coaching, $80 per session, twice a month. I needed SAT prep books. "Can't you borrow them from the library?" Tyler got driven to every practice, every game, every tournament within 200 miles. I took the bus to my part-time job at the library. $9.50 an hour. 15 hours a week. Saved every paycheck. Tyler got new cleats every season. His feet are still growing. I wore the same winter coat for 4 years. It still fits. I need you to hear this clearly. Tyler didn't ask for any of it. He's a good kid. Sweet, goofy, completely oblivious to the disparity because it was all he'd ever known. He thought every family worked this way, that some kids just got more because they were more. And maybe he was right. Maybe I just wasn't more. By the time I applied to colleges, I'd accepted my role. I was the self-sufficient one. The one who didn't need help. The one who worked 3 jobs to pay for application fees while Tyler got a $2,100 trip to a soccer showcase tournament in Florida. I was the one who sent money home. You read that right. During my senior year of high school, Mom called me at work twice. Both times, she said there was a family emergency. The water heater broke. The car needed repairs. Could I help? I sent $400 the first time. $350 the second. Money I'd been saving for college textbooks. But family emergencies came first, right? I found out later the water heater was fine. The car repairs were Tyler's tournament registration fee. They lied, took my textbook money, used it for soccer. I didn't confront them. What would I say? That I'd checked the water heater and it worked fine? That I'd seen Tyler's tournament registration confirmation email left open on the family computer? I'd just be difficult again. So I worked more hours, saved more money, convinced myself that college would be different. That when I got to Yale, when I became someone undeniable, they'd finally see me as worth the investment. The spring of my senior year, I got my acceptance. Mom and Dad said, "That's nice." Tyler's soccer team made the playoffs. Mom and Dad bought Yale t-shirts for Tyler's entire soccer team. 20 custom shirts with Northeast Elite Soccer printed on the back. I asked if I could have one for Yale. Mom said, "Honey, those are for the team. It wouldn't make sense for you to have one." I didn't ask again. In May, 3 weeks before graduation, I mailed them an invitation. Formal card stock. Emma Chen invites you to celebrate her graduation from West Hartford High School. Date, time, location. I'd ordered them custom, paid for them myself. Mom put it on the fridge with a magnet. Dad said, "We'll be there." Tyler's playoff schedule came out the same week. I watched Mom and Dad study the soccer calendar like it was a holy text, circling dates, planning travel, discussing which games were must attend. I looked at my graduation invitation on the fridge. No circle, no planning. Just a magnet shaped like a sunflower holding it in place, already half hidden behind Tyler's tournament bracket. I told myself it was fine. Graduation was 3 hours. Tyler's playoffs were all season. They'd come to mine. Of course they would. They'd promised 14 years ago. We wouldn't miss it for the world. I believed them. May 22nd, 2025. Graduation day started at 5:30 a.m. when my alarm went off and I stared at the ceiling, too nervous to feel tired. This was it. The day I'd been working toward since freshman year. 4 years of straight A's, 3 part-time jobs, 200 volunteer hours. All of it culminating in a ceremony at 11 a.m. where I'd walk across the stage and my parents would finally see me. I got dressed slowly. Navy blue sundress, white cardigan, the gold necklace my grandmother had given me when I got my acceptance letter, the only family member who'd screamed when I told her about Yale. I looked at myself in the mirror. "You did it," I whispered. Then, my phone buzzed. 7:14 a.m. "Mom, can't make it. Tyler's playoff game is today. We'll celebrate later." I read it 3 times. Then 3 more. Can't make it. Tyler's playoff game. Celebrate later. 11 words. No apology. No acknowledgement that this was my graduation, the thing they'd promised to attend since I was 8 years old. Just, can't make it. I called Dad. Voicemail. I called Mom. She answered on the 5th ring, wind noise in the background. "Emma, hi. Did you get my text?" "You're not coming." My voice sounded hollow. "Honey, Tyler's playoff game is today. It's a huge opportunity for him. Scouts will be there. We can't miss it." "It's my graduation." "I know, and we feel terrible. But you understand, right? This is Tyler's future." "What about my future?" A pause. Then, "You're going to Yale. Your future's already set. Tyler needs us right now." I stood in my childhood bedroom, wearing my graduation dress, holding a phone to my ear while my mother chose my brother's soccer game over the achievement I'd spent 4 years building. "Mom, we'll take you to dinner next week, somewhere nice, okay? We love you." She hung up. I sat on my bed, stared at the wall. At 7:32 a.m. on my graduation day, I learned that promises only matter when they're convenient. I didn't cry. I should have. I wanted to. But something in my chest had gone numb, like my body knew tears wouldn't change anything. Instead, I opened Find My iPhone. Mom's location, Riverside High School athletic field. 47 miles away. Tyler's game started at 11 a.m., the same time as my ceremony. They weren't running late. They weren't stuck in traffic. They weren't planning to do both. They'd chosen. My roommate Priya picked me up at 9:15 a.m. She took one look at my face. "What happened?" "They're not coming." "What?" "Tyler has a soccer game. They picked that." Priya's expression went through 5 stages of fury in 3 seconds. "Are you serious?" "Emma, it's your graduation, from high school." "To go to Yale." "I know. Want me to drive to that soccer field and cause a scene, because I will. I'll bring air horns. Despite everything, I laughed. No, it's fine. It's not fine. She was right. But fine was easier than admitting how much it hurt. We arrived at West Hartford High at 10:15 a.m. The parking lot was chaos. Families everywhere, carrying flowers and balloons, taking photos. I watched a girl in a graduation gown hug her parents, while her little sister held a sign that said, "We're so proud of you." I looked away. Priya grabbed my hand. "I'm proud of you." "Thanks." "I mean it. Yale, full ride, molecular biology genius. You're incredible." I squeezed her hand, didn't trust my voice. Inside the gymnasium, I found my seat in the graduating senior section. Then I walked to the family seating area, row 3, seats 7 and 8, reserved for parents. I placed their programs on the chairs. Linda Chen, Robert Chen, printed names on folded cardstock. The seats stayed empty. At 10:47 a.m., families started filling the bleachers. I watched them flood in. Mothers with cameras, fathers with video equipment, siblings holding handmade signs, grandparents dabbing tears before the ceremony even started. 1,200 people filled that gymnasium. Not one of them was there for me. I sat in my plastic chair in the senior section, surrounded by classmates whispering excitedly about their families, and I felt invisible. Priya's parents were somewhere in the crowd. They'd come to support me because their daughter asked them to, and I was grateful. I was. But they were strangers, doing a kindness, not family keeping a promise. At 11 a.m., Principal Howard stepped to the podium. "Welcome, families and friends, to West Hartford High School's graduation ceremony." Applause. I didn't clap. I pulled out my phone. Checked Find My iPhone one more time. Mom's location hadn't moved. Still at the athletic field. Still 47 miles away. I opened Facebook. Mom's most recent post, uploaded 8 minutes ago. Photo of Tyler in his goalkeeper jersey, crouched in front of the net. Caption: "Game day. So proud of our boy. Number soccer mom, number proud parent." No mention of me. No mention of graduation. Just Tyler. Always Tyler. I put my phone away. Tried to focus on Principal Howard's speech about futures and dreams and limitless potential. The irony wasn't lost on me. They called my name at 11:34 a.m. Emma Marie Chen. I stood, walked across the stage, shook Principal Howard's hand, accepted my diploma. The crowd applauded the same polite applause they gave everyone. I looked at row 3, seats 7 and 8, still empty, programs still folded on the chairs. I walked off the stage, sat back down, and something inside me cracked. After the ceremony, families flooded the gymnasium floor. Everywhere I looked, hugs, tears, photos. A girl 2 seats down from me was sobbing in her father's arms while her mother kissed her forehead. Another graduate was laughing with his grandparents, holding up his diploma for pictures. I stood alone near the bleachers, holding my diploma in both hands. Priya found me. "I'm okay." "You're not." I wasn't. Priya's parents approached. Her mom hugged me. "Congratulations, Emma. We're so proud of you." I hugged her back, managed a smile. "Thank you for coming." Her dad took photos of me and Priya together. We smiled. Through our caps. Acted like this was a normal graduation. But I kept glancing at the family seating area. At row 3. At the empty seats. At the programs with my parents' names. Still folded and untouched. We left at 1 p.m. I didn't go to any of the grad parties. Didn't have the energy to pretend I was fine. Priya drove me home. When we pulled into my driveway, the house was empty. Both cars gone. I checked my phone. Mom's location, still at Riverside High School athletic field. Tyler's game had gone into overtime. They were still there. I walked inside, went to my room, sat on my bed, stared at my diploma. Emma Marie Chen, West Hartford High School, the 22nd of May 2025. Proof that I'd done it, that I'd earned Yale, that I was worth something. But the people who were supposed to care most hadn't shown up to see it. At 4:37 p.m., I got a text. "Dad, how'd it go?" 3 words. 6 hours after my ceremony ended, I stared at the message. Typed and deleted 5 different responses. Finally settled on, "Fine." He sent back a thumbs up emoji. At 6:15 p.m., I heard the garage door open. Voices downstairs. Mom, Dad, Tyler, all talking over each other, excited energy buzzing through the walls. Saved it in the last 30 seconds. The dive was incredible. Coach said scouts were impressed. I stayed in my room. 5 minutes later, Mom knocked. "Emma, you home?" "Yeah." She opened the door, smiled. "How was graduation?" "Fine." "Good." She stepped inside, looked around like she was noticing my room for the first time. "Sorry we couldn't make it. Tyler's game was amazing. You should have seen him." I said nothing. "We'll celebrate this weekend, okay? Maybe go to that Italian place you like." "Okay." She kissed my forehead. "Love you, honey." Then she left. Went back downstairs to relive Tyler's game for the 40th time. And I sat on my bed, holding my diploma, wondering if I'd imagined the past 4 years. At 9:23 p.m., I did something I shouldn't have. I opened my laptop, checked my bank account. $4,347.22. 4 years of savings, every dollar I'd earned. I stared at that number. Then I checked Find My iPhone one more time. Mom's location history. Riverside High School athletic field. 9:47 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. She'd been there for 5.5 hours. My graduation ceremony was 2 hours. They could have done both. Left Tyler's game early. Arrived late to my ceremony. Anything. But they didn't. Because Tyler's playoff game mattered. And my graduation didn't. I closed my laptop. Lay down on my bed. And finally, 8 hours after reading that text, I cried. I should have known then that something else was wrong. I should have questioned why Mom mentioned tight budget when they'd just spent $2,100 on Tyler's Florida tournament. I should have wondered where all their money was actually going. But I was 18 years old, fresh off the worst day of my life, and all I could think was, when will I be enough? 2 weeks later, I'd find out the answer was never. And the reason had nothing to do with my worth. 2 weeks after graduation, I still hadn't unpacked my diploma. It sat in its leather case on my desk, unopened, like evidence of a crime I didn't want to revisit. Yale move-in was 10 weeks away. I had a summer job lined up at the Hartford Public Library, 30 hours a week, $12.50 an hour, enough to build my savings back up after sending that emergency money home. I was fine. That's what I kept telling myself. I was fine. Except I wasn't sleeping. Every night, I lay in bed replaying May 22nd. The text at 7:14 a.m. The empty seats. Mom's voice on the phone. "Tyler needs us right now." I kept trying to rewrite it in my head. Trying to find the version where they showed up. Where they chose me. Where I mattered. But that version didn't exist. On June 6, 15 days post-graduation, I did something I shouldn't have. I opened Find My iPhone. Mom's location glowed on the map. Home. Dad's. His office in Hartford. Tyler's. Summer soccer camp. Normal. Fine. Nothing suspicious. But then I scrolled back through the location history. May 22nd. The day that wouldn't stop haunting me. Mom's timeline. 7 a.m. Home. 9:47 a.m. Riverside High School athletic field. 3:15 p.m. Still there. 3:42 p.m. Home. 5.5 hours at Tyler's game. My ceremony ran 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 2 hours. They could have done both. Left Tyler's game at halftime. Shown up late to my graduation. Anything. The math was right there. 47 miles. 52 minutes of drive time. They could have made it by 11:45 a.m. Missed my name being called but caught the second half of the ceremony. They didn't even try. I closed the app, opened Facebook, scrolled to Mom's profile. May 22nd, 10:52 a.m. Photo of Tyler in his goalkeeper gloves, crouching in front of the net. Caption: Game day. So proud of our boy. Number soccer mom. Number proud parent. 347 likes. 89 comments. All variations of, "He's amazing," and "Such a star." I scrolled further. May 22nd, 11:28 a.m. during my ceremony, while I was sitting in that gymnasium scanning the crowd for them. Video of Tyler blocking a shot. Caption: That's my boy. 182 likes. 54 comments. I kept scrolling. May 22nd, 1:47 p.m., 30 minutes after my ceremony ended. Photo of Tyler holding a trophy. Caption: Playoffs champions. We are so proud. Best day ever. Best day ever. I closed the app. Stared at my ceiling. Best day ever. At 3 p.m., my phone buzzed. Mom, dinner Friday? That Italian place? Celebrate your graduation? 15 days late. I typed back, "Sure." She sent a heart emoji. I should have left it alone. Should have accepted the dinner, moved on, started packing for Yale. But something wouldn't let me. Maybe it was the 5.5 hours at Tyler's game versus 0 minutes at my ceremony. Maybe it was best day ever, posted while I stood alone holding my diploma. Maybe it was 4 years of watching them choose Tyler over and over and pretending it didn't hurt. Whatever it was, I couldn't stop thinking, why? Why was Tyler's soccer more important than my graduation? It wasn't just favoritism anymore. Favoritism was buying him expensive cleats while I got Target clearance. This was something else. Something that didn't make sense. They'd promised, since I was 8 years old, we wouldn't miss it for the world. And then they did. For a soccer game. A soccer game they could have left early. Why? On June 7th, I did something else I shouldn't have. I checked the family bank account. I'd had access since I was 16. Mom added me as an authorized user so I could deposit my paychecks. I rarely looked at it. My money went into my personal savings. Their money was their business. But that afternoon, sitting at my desk, I logged in. Just to look. Just to see if maybe there was something I'd missed. Some financial crisis that explained why they couldn't take one day off work to see me graduate. The account balance loaded. $847.32. I blinked. $847. In a joint checking account for 2 full-time working adults. That couldn't be right. I scrolled through recent transactions. June 5th. Mortgage payment $1,840 autopay. June 4th. Grocery store $127.43. June 3rd. Gas station $58. June 1st. Northeast Elite Soccer Club $1,200. I stopped scrolling. $1,200 to Tyler's Soccer Club on June 1st. That was 10 days ago. 10 days after they'd skipped my graduation. 10 days after Mom said we feel terrible and promised to take me to dinner. $1,200 for soccer. But they couldn't afford to miss work for my ceremony? I kept scrolling. May 28th. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $850. May 15th. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,100. May 3rd. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $950. April 22nd. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,400. Every 2 weeks, hundreds of dollars. Sometimes over 1,000. I scrolled faster. March. February. January. Northeast Elite. Northeast Elite. Thousands of dollars, paid consistently. While Mom told me money's tight and I worked 3 jobs and sent them cash for emergencies, my stomach turned. I opened a new tab, checked my personal savings account, $4,347.22. The same number I'd been staring at for 2 weeks. 4 years of work, every birthday check from Grandma, every paycheck from the library, money I'd saved for Yale, textbooks and lab fees and emergencies. Money I'd sent home twice because Mom said they needed help. $400 in November. Water heater broke. $350 in March. Car repairs. $750 total. I pulled up my text history with Mom. November 14th. Mom, Emma, water heater died. Emergency repair is $600. Can you help? We'll pay you back. Me, I can send $400. That's all I have right now. Mom, you're a lifesaver. Thank you, honey. Love you. I opened a new tab. Googled how to check if water heater was replaced. Searched for service records, receipts, anything. Nothing. I walked downstairs. The house was empty. Mom at work, Dad at the office, Tyler at soccer camp. I went to the basement. Stood in front of the water heater. Checked the manufacture date on the label, 2019. Checked the installation sticker, May 2019. No service records, no replacement tags. The water heater was 6 years old and working fine. I went back upstairs, sat at the kitchen table, pulled up the family bank account again, scrolled to November 14th, the day Mom texted about the broken water heater. November 15th, deposit, $400 from my account. November 16th, Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $925. My $400. My textbook money. Sent home for an emergency that didn't exist. Used for Tyler's soccer fees. I checked March. March 10th. Mom's text about car repairs. March 11th. Deposit, $350. From me. March 13th. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,100. They lied. Both times. Took my money. Used it for Tyler. And I'd believed them. I sat at that kitchen table for 20 minutes, staring at transactions, at proof, at the truth I'd been too naive to see. My parents hadn't missed my graduation because they couldn't afford time off work. They missed it because Tyler's soccer was more important. And Tyler's soccer cost money. My money. My phone buzzed. Mom, home at 6. Pizza for dinner? I didn't respond. I took screenshots. Every transaction. Every Northeast Elite charge. November's deposit. March's deposit. Saved them to a folder on my phone labeled receipts. Then I closed my laptop, went to my room, and tried very hard not to scream. At 6:15 p.m., I heard the garage door. Mom's voice carried upstairs. Emma, you home? Yeah. Pizza's here. I didn't go downstairs. I sat on my bed, staring at my phone. At the screenshots. At $750 of my savings funneled into Tyler's soccer through fabricated emergencies. At 6:47 p.m., Mom knocked on my door. Em, you okay? Pizza's getting cold. Not hungry. A pause. You feeling all right? Fine. Okay, well, it's downstairs if you want it. She left. I listened to her footsteps fade, opened my photos, stared at the bank transactions again. Something was wrong. Something bigger than favoritism or missed graduations. And I was going to find out what. On June 10th, I went home during my parents' work hours. Mom's shift at the dental office, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Dad's engineering firm, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tyler's soccer camp, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I had the house to myself until 4:30, 3.5 hours to figure out what they were hiding. I started in the kitchen. Mail was always piled on the counter next to the microwave. Bills, flyers, catalogs. Mom sorted through it once a week, filed the important stuff, tossed the rest. I flipped through the stack. Electric bill, water bill, credit card offer, grocery store coupons. Then, Hartford Savings Bank. Addressed to Emma M. Chen. My hands stopped. I didn't have an account with Hartford Savings. I had one savings account at Webster Bank, the one I'd opened at 14 with Grandma's help. That was it. But this envelope had my name on it. I opened it. Hartford Savings Bank. Account Summary. ACC. May 2025. Account Holder. Emma Marie Chen. Asterisk asterisk account number. Asterisk asterisk 3,847. Account opened. The 15th of March 2021. My eyes stuck on that date. The 15th of March 2021. 4 years ago. My freshman year at Yale. I kept reading. Account type, personal loan. Original loan amount, $15,000. Current balance, negative $12,847.63. Monthly payment due, $340. Payment status, past due, 8 months, $15,000. In my name, past due, 8 months of missed payments. I read it again. Then again. My brain couldn't process it. I didn't take out a loan. I'd never walked into Hartford Savings Bank. I'd never signed anything. But there it was. My name, my address, an account opened March 2021. $15,000. My hands started shaking. I set the statement on the counter, pulled out my phone, opened Credit Karma, the app I'd downloaded senior year of high school to start building credit. I'd checked it maybe twice since then. My score had been 720 last time I looked. I logged in. The screen loaded. Credit score, 537. 537. I stared at that number. My score had been 720 inches, May 2024, 13 months ago. Now it was 537. I scrolled down. Factors affecting your score. Late payments, 8 accounts. High credit utilization, 94%. Derogatory marks, 3. Collections, 1 account. 8 late payments. 3 derogatory marks. 1 collections account. What? I clicked on Accounts. The list loaded. Hartford Savings Personal Loan. Opened, March 2021. Balance, $12,847. Status, past due, 240 plus days. Chase Freedom Credit Card. Opened, September 2021. Balance, $8,412. Status, past due, 180 plus days. Capital One Quicksilver. Opened, January 2023. Balance, $4,200. Status, past due, 90 plus days. 3 accounts, $25,459 in debt. All in my name. All past due. I dropped my phone. It clattered on the tile floor. I stood in my childhood kitchen, staring at a bank statement with my name on it, and my entire body went cold. Someone had opened these accounts. Someone had taken out loans, applied for credit cards, racked up debt. Someone had destroyed my credit score, and I'd never signed a single form. I picked up my phone, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold it. Opened the Chase account details. Recent transactions. The 3rd of May 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,400. The 18th of April 2025. Dick's Sporting Goods, $340. The 27th of March 2025. Sports Authority, $615. The 10th of March 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,100. Every charge, every single one. Tyler's Soccer. I opened the Capital One account. The 22nd of February 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer Tournament registration. $850. The 30th of January 2025. Soccer.com. $290. The 12th of January 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer Club. $1,200. December 2024. Goalkeeper training equipment. $420. Soccer, soccer, soccer. I sat down on the kitchen floor. The bank statement crumpled in my fist. My parents had opened credit cards in my name, taken out a loan in my name, used my social security number, my identity, my future. And they'd spent it all on Tyler. $15,000 in loan debt, $8,000 in Chase credit card debt, $4,000 in Capital One debt, $27,000. All of it mine, none of it mine. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight. My throat closed. The kitchen spun. They'd stolen from me. Not borrowed, not forgot to tell me. Stolen. That's identity theft. That's fraud. That's a crime. I don't know how long I sat there. Could have been 5 minutes. Could have been an hour. Eventually, I stood up, walked to the sink, splashed cold water on my face, looked at my reflection in the window above the faucet. My face was pale, eyes red. I looked like someone had punched me in the stomach. I picked up the bank statement. Read it one more time. Account holder, Emma Marie Chen. They'd used my name, my credit, my future, for soccer equipment and tournament fees and goalkeeper gloves, while I worked 3 jobs, while I sent them money for emergencies, while they skipped my graduation because Tyler's game was more important. I took a photo of the statement. Then I went upstairs, to my parents' bedroom. I'd never snooped before, never had a reason to, never wanted to, but now I needed answers. I opened Mom's closet. Clothes, shoes, nothing unusual. Then I saw it, a cardboard box on the top shelf labeled Bills 2021 to 2025. I pulled it down, opened it. Inside, stacks of envelopes, statements, receipts, all organized by year. I pulled out the 2021 folder, flipped through. March 2021, Hartford Savings Bank loan application. Primary applicant signature, Linda M. Chen. Co-signer signature, a scrawled version of Emma M. Chen that looked nothing like my handwriting. They'd forged it. I kept digging. September 2021, Chase Freedom credit card application. Primary cardholder, Emma M. Chen. Signature, forged again. January 2023, Capital One application. Same thing. 3 applications. 3 forgeries. 4 years of fraud. I took photos of everything. Every application. Every statement. Every forged signature. My hands didn't shake anymore. I was past shock. Now I was just cold. At 4:17 p.m., I heard the garage door. I shoved everything back in the box, put it on the shelf, closed the closet, walked downstairs. Tyler came through the door first, soccer bag slung over his shoulder. "Hey, Em." "Hey, Ty." He didn't know. Looking at him 16, sunburned, grinning about soccer camp, I knew he had no idea what they'd done. And I couldn't tell him, not yet. Mom got home at 5:30. "Emma, didn't know you'd be home. How was work?" "Fine." "You eat yet?" "I can make something." I looked at her. At the woman who'd forged my signature, who'd opened credit cards in my name, who'd stolen $15,000 and called it Tyler's future. "Not hungry," I said, and I went to my room. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed with my laptop open, scrolling through screenshots, cross-referencing dates, building a timeline, because this wasn't just 3 accounts. This was 4 years of systematic theft, and I needed to see the whole picture. The 15th of March 2021, Hartford Savings Bank loan approved. $15,000 deposited into an account I didn't know existed. I was 18, 3 months into my freshman year at Yale, working at the campus library for $11 an hour, 15 hours a week. Mom had called me that week. I remembered because I'd been studying for my first organic chemistry exam. Just checking in, honey. How's school? Good. Stressful. Midterms. You're doing great. We're proud of you. We're proud of you. 3 days after forging my signature on a $15,000 loan application, the 8th of September 2021, Chase Freedom credit card activated. $10,000 credit limit. I was starting sophomore year. Mom had texted, "Have a great first day back. Love you." The same day she'd received a credit card in my name in the mail. The 12th of January 2023. Capital One Quicksilver approved. $5,000 credit limit. I was halfway through junior year, struggling to pay for textbooks. I'd texted Mom asking if they could help with $150 for a lab manual. She'd said, "Money's tight right now, honey. Can you pick up extra shifts?" I did. Worked 23 hours that week on top of classes. Made $253. Bought the lab manual and groceries. While a credit card with a $5,000 limit sat in her wallet with my name on it. I cross-referenced the credit card charges with my memory. The 18th of April 2024. Dick's Sporting Goods, $340. I remembered that week. Tyler had needed new goalkeeper gloves, professional grade, Dad said. He's getting serious about this. I'd been eating ramen for dinner because my budget was $30 a week for food. They'd spent $340 on gloves, with my credit card. The 14th of November 2024. The water heater emergency. Mom's text. Water heater died. Emergency repair is $600. Can you help? I'd sent $400. The 16th of November 2024. Northeast Elite Soccer Club charge on Chase card. $925. They didn't need my $400 for a water heater. They needed it to make the minimum payment on the credit card they'd maxed out in my name. The 10th of March 2025. The car repair emergency. Mom, car needs $500 in repairs. Can you send $350? I did. The 13th of March 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer Club charge. $1,100. Same pattern. They weren't asking for help. They were covering their tracks. I made a spreadsheet. Date, account, charge, amount, what it was really for. Row after row after row. $27,459 total. Every cent spent on Tyler's soccer career. Elite training, private coaching, tournament travel, equipment. While I worked 3 jobs. While I lived on ramen and library vending machine coffee. While they told me they were proud of me. At 2:47 a.m., I found something else. A charge from December 2024. Northeast Elite Soccer Showcase, Orlando, FL, $2,100. I remembered that trip. Tyler had gone to Florida for a tournament. 5 days. Mom and Dad went with him. Family vacation, Mom called it. Posted dozens of photos. Disney World, the beach, Tyler's tournament. I'd been at Yale taking finals. They'd invited me. Would love if you could come, but we know you're busy with school. I couldn't afford the plane ticket. $340 round trip. They'd said they understood, but they'd charged the entire trip flights, hotel, meals, tournament fees to a credit card in my name. $2,100. While I studied for organic chemistry and ate granola bars for dinner because I was too broke for the dining hall. I closed my laptop, stared at the ceiling. 4 years, 48 months, 1,460 days. And I'd never known. Every time they'd hugged me. Every, "We're proud of you." Every, "You're doing so great, honey." Lies. Or not lies, Maybe they were proud, but not proud enough to stop stealing from me. At 3:30 a.m., I opened my texts with Mom, scrolled back through years of messages. Love you, Em. So proud of you. You're amazing. Can you help with emergency? You're a lifesaver. We'll pay you back. Every message felt like a knife now. I thought about confronting them. Walking downstairs right now, waking them up, throwing the bank statements at their feet. You stole from me. You ruined my credit. You used my identity for Tyler's soccer. Explain. But what would they say? We were going to tell you. We'll pay you back. It's not as bad as it looks. You're overreacting. I could already hear it. At 6 a.m., I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront them. Not yet. Because confronting them wouldn't get my money back, wouldn't fix my credit, wouldn't undo 4 years of fraud. I needed help, legal help. Someone who could tell me what this actually was and what I could actually do about it. At 8:15 a.m., I texted Priya. Me. Can I come over? Need to talk. Priya. Always. Me. No. Priya. Come now. I grabbed my laptop, grabbed the printed bank statements I'd hidden under my mattress, grabbed my phone with all the screenshots, and I left. Didn't tell my parents where I was going. Didn't leave a note. Just walked out the front door with evidence of 4 years of identity theft in my backpack, and drove to the one person I knew would believe me. I arrived at Priya's apartment at 9:23 a.m. She opened the door before I could knock, took one look at my face. What happened? I walked inside, set my laptop on her kitchen table, couldn't speak yet. Priya closed the door, stood next to me, waited. That's the thing about real friends. They know when to push and when to just be there. She was just being there. My parents stole from me, I finally said. The words felt foreign. Wrong. Like I was accusing strangers of a crime instead of talking about the people who'd raised me. Priya's eyes widened. What? I opened my laptop, pulled up the screenshots. Hartford Savings Bank statement. Chase credit card. Capital One. They opened accounts in my name, took out a $15,000 loan, got credit cards, used all of it for Tyler's soccer. I turned the screen toward her. She leaned in, started reading. Her expression changed with every line. Confusion, shock, anger. Emma! Her voice was barely a whisper. This is $27,000, I said. Total. All in my name. All past due. My credit score is 537. 5. She looked up at me. You had a 720 last year. I know. They destroyed your credit. I know. Priya scrolled through more screenshots. The forged signatures. The soccer charges. The timeline I'd built at 3 a.m. She read in silence for 3 full minutes. Then she set the laptop down. Emma, this is identity theft. Hearing her say it out loud made it real. Identity theft. Not family borrowing. Not a misunderstanding. A crime. With a legal definition and consequences and victims. I was the victim. My parents were the criminals. I sat down at her table, put my head in my hands. I don't know what to do. Priya sat next to me. Have you confronted them? No. Why not? Because what would I say? I looked up. They'll just make excuses. Say they were going to tell me. Say they'll pay me back. Say I'm overreacting. You're not overreacting. I know that, but they won't. Priya was quiet for a moment. Then, my cousin's a public defender, Michaela. She deals with fraud cases all the time. I don't want to press charges against my parents. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying you need to talk to someone who knows the law, someone who can tell you what your options are. I thought about it, about walking into a lawyer's office and saying, my parents committed identity theft against me, about making this official. Real. Irreversible. What if I'm wrong? I whispered. What if there's an explanation? Priya turned to face me fully, grabbed both my hands. Emma, listen to me. You found loan documents with forged signatures, credit cards you didn't open, $27,000 in debt you didn't create. There's no explanation that makes that okay. But they're my parents. They're criminals. The word hit like a slap. Criminals. My mom, who'd packed my lunches through elementary school. My dad, who'd taught me to ride a bike. Criminals. What if I'm overreacting? I tried again. Priya squeezed my hands tighter. Listen to yourself. You're sitting here with proof of fraud, and you're asking if you're overreacting. That's what they've trained you to do. Doubt yourself. Make excuses for them. Be the easy kid who doesn't cause problems. She leaned closer. You worked 3 jobs in college. You sent them money when they lied about emergencies. You've spent your entire life trying to be enough for them. And they repaid you by stealing your identity. My eyes burned. You are not overreacting, Priya said. You're underreacting. I started crying. Not quiet tears. Full sobs. Because she was right. I'd been making excuses for them my entire life. Tyler needs more support. You're more independent. You understand, right? I'd understood. I'd always understood. And they'd used that understanding to steal from me. Priya hugged me while I cried. Didn't say anything, just held on. When I finally stopped, she handed me tissues. I'll text Michaela, she said. See if she can meet with you. Priya, you don't have to press charges. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But you need to know what this is and what you can do about it. I nodded, wiped my face. Okay. Priya texted her cousin while I sat at the table, staring at the screenshots on my laptop. My name on documents I'd never signed. My credit destroyed by people I'd trusted. My future damaged by the people who were supposed to protect it. Priya's phone buzzed. Michaela can meet tomorrow, 3 p.m., New Haven Legal Aid. Tomorrow. 24 hours away. Okay, I said again. Priya sat back down next to me. You're doing the right thing. It doesn't feel right. It never does, but right and easy aren't the same thing. I stayed at Priya's apartment until noon. We didn't talk much, just sat together while I processed. At one point, she made grilled cheese sandwiches. I ate half of mine. Couldn't taste it. Before I left, Priya walked me to my car. You're going to get through this, she said. How do you know? Because you got into Yale on a full ride while working 3 jobs and dealing with their favoritism. If you can survive that, you can survive this. I wanted to believe her. I drove home at 12:47 p.m. Walked inside. The house was empty. Mom at work, Dad at the office, Tyler at soccer camp. I went to my room. Lay on my bed. Stared at the ceiling. 24 hours until I sat across from a lawyer and said the words out loud. My parents committed identity theft against me. 24 hours until this became real. At 2:15 p.m., Mom texted. Mom, dinner tonight? Thinking tacos. I stared at the message. Thought about her forging my signature. Thought about her lying about the water heater. Thought about her texting, love you, while maxing out credit cards in my name. I typed back, not hungry, studying. She sent back a thumbs up. I set my phone down, opened my laptop, looked at the screenshots one more time. Tomorrow, I'd talk to a lawyer. Tomorrow, I'd find out what justice looked like. Tomorrow, everything would change. But tonight, I was still just Emma, the girl whose parents had stolen her future, and didn't even know she'd found out. New Haven Legal Aid was located at 301 Church Street, 3rd floor. I arrived at 2:47 p.m. on June 11th. 13 minutes early, hands shaking, evidence folder in my bag. Priya had offered to come with me. I'd said no. This was something I needed to do alone. The waiting room was small, 6 chairs, outdated magazines, a receptionist behind plexiglass. I gave my name. She checked her computer. Attorney Warren will be with you shortly. I sat down. Pulled out my phone. Opened the screenshots for the 100th time. As if they might have changed. As if I might have imagined the whole thing. But no. Still there. $27,459 in debt. Still mine. Still not mine. At 3:04 p.m., a door opened. Emma Chen? I stood. A black woman in her late 30s stepped into the waiting room. Sharp gray suit, natural hair pulled back, eyes that looked like they'd seen everything and weren't impressed by any of it. "I'm Michaela Warren. Come on back." Her office was small but organized. Desk covered in case files, bookshelves lined with legal texts. A framed law degree from UConn on the wall. She gestured to a chair across from her desk. "Have a seat." I sat. Set my folder on my lap. Didn't open it yet. "Priya tells me you're dealing with a family situation," Michaela said. "Identity theft?" "I think so," I said. "Maybe. I don't know." "Why don't you walk me through what happened?" So I did. I told her about Yale, the graduation, the empty seats, about finding the bank statement, about the credit cards and the forged signatures, and the $27,459 in debt I didn't create, about Tyler's soccer and the fake emergencies, and 4 years of lies. I told her everything. And Michaela listened. Didn't interrupt, didn't react, just took notes on a legal pad. When I finished, I opened my folder. "I have evidence." I spread it across her desk. Bank statements, credit card bills, screenshots of forged signatures, my timeline spreadsheet, transaction histories showing soccer charges. Michaela picked up the Hartford savings document first, studied the signature, then picked up my driver's license from the pile, compared the signatures. "This isn't your handwriting," she said. "No?" "Did you authorize anyone to sign on your behalf?" "No." "Did you know these accounts existed?" "Not until 4 days ago." Michaela set down the documents, looked at me directly. "Emma, this is textbook identity theft under Connecticut General Statutes, Section 53A, 129B. Hearing the legal statute made my stomach drop. Your parents, assuming it was your parents who opened these accounts, used your personal identifying information to obtain financial resources without your knowledge or consent. That's a Class D felony. Class D felony. The words hung in the air. "A felony?" I repeated. "Yes, identity theft in Connecticut is a felony offense. If convicted, it carries a potential sentence of 1 to 5 years in prison and fines up to $5,000. Prison. My parents. In prison. "I don't want them to go to prison," I said quickly. Michaela held up a hand. "Let me explain your options first. Then you can decide what you want to do." I nodded. She pulled out a clean legal pad. Drew 3 columns. "You have 3 main paths forward. First, criminal charges." She wrote "criminal" at the top of the first column. "You file a police report. The state investigates. If there's sufficient evidence and based on what you've shown me, there is the state attorney prosecutes. You don't control the process once you file. The state decides whether to press charges." What would happen to them? If convicted? Probation, restitution, possibly jail time. They'd have a felony on their record. It would affect employment, housing, professional licenses. My mom's dental hygienist license. My dad's engineering job. Gone. Second option, civil lawsuit. She wrote civil at the top of the second column. You sue them for damages, financial losses, credit repair costs, emotional distress. If you win, the court orders them to pay restitution. You can also request wage garnishment or liens on property to ensure payment. How much would that cost? Legal fees for a civil suit start around $3,000. Could go up to $8,000 or $10,000, depending on complexity. Some attorneys work on contingency, meaning they take a percentage of what you recover. $3,000. Money I didn't have. Third option, credit dispute and no contact. She wrote, dispute plus NC in the third column. You dispute the fraudulent accounts with the credit bureaus, freeze your credit, File identity theft reports with the FTC. Cut off contact with your parents. Let the banks pursue them for the debt. Would that fix my credit? Eventually. It takes time. You'd need police reports to prove you're a victim of identity theft. But yes, the fraudulent accounts would be removed from your credit report. How long? 6 months to a year for full credit repair, maybe longer. Michaela set down her pen. Those are your options. There's also a fourth path. Do nothing. Let them continue making payments. Hope they pay it off. Don't confront them. Is that an option? Legally, yes. Practically, I don't recommend it. Your credit is already damaged. The debt is growing with interest and late fees, and if they stop paying entirely, creditors will come after you. I looked at the 3 columns: criminal, civil, dispute, prison, lawsuits, no contact. None of it felt real. What would you do? I asked. Michaela leaned back in her chair. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that in my 15 years practicing law, I've never seen a case of family identity theft end well without legal intervention. She paused. Your parents committed a crime. They damaged your financial future. And based on the pattern you've described, the lies, the fake emergencies, the continued charges even after you graduated, they're not going to stop on their own. What if I confront them first, give them a chance to fix it? You can. But understand that confrontation without legal backing rarely works. They'll apologize, promise to pay you back, ask for time. Meanwhile, the debt continues to grow, and your credit continues to suffer. She leaned forward. If you want justice, Emma, you need documentation. Legal documentation, police reports, court filings, official records. Without that, it's just your word against theirs. I looked down at the evidence on her desk. At my name on documents I'd never signed. At proof of 4 years of fraud. If I file a police report, I said slowly, what happens next? You go to the New Haven Police Department. File an identity theft report. They assign a detective. The detective investigates, contacts the banks, reviews the evidence, interviews potential witnesses. If the evidence is strong, they refer the case to the state attorney. The state attorney decides whether to file charges. How long does that take? Investigation phase? 3 to 6 months. Trial, if it goes that far, could take a year. A year. 12 months of my parents knowing I'd reported them. 12 months of family destroyed. I need to think about it, I said. Michaela nodded. Take your time. But Emma? Yeah? Don't wait too long. The longer fraudulent accounts stay open, the more damage they do. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to prove you're a victim rather than a willing participant. I'm not a participant. I know that. But the law requires you to prove it, and time works against you. I gathered my documents, slid them back into my folder. What do I owe you? I asked. First consultation is free. If you decide to move forward with civil action, we can discuss rates. But if you file a police report, that's free. The state handles criminal prosecution. Thank you. She walked me to the door. Emma, one more thing. I turned. What your parents did isn't your fault, and whatever you decide to do about it isn't cruel. It's self-preservation. I left her office at 4:17 p.m., walked to my car, sat in the driver's seat, and cried, because Michaela was right. This was self-preservation. But it didn't feel like it. It felt like betrayal, even though they'd betrayed me first. I didn't go home after the lawyer's office. I drove to a Panera Bread in Milford, ordered coffee I didn't drink, sat in a corner booth with my laptop, and I made a decision. I was going to file a police report. Not because I wanted to, not because it felt good, but because Michaela was right. Without legal documentation, this would never end. They'd apologize, promise to fix it, and keep charging to accounts in my name while my credit score dropped lower and lower until I couldn't rent an apartment or get a car loan or pass a background check for jobs. I'd worked too hard to let that happen. But before I went to the police, I needed everything. Every piece of evidence, every document, every transaction. I needed a case so airtight they couldn't deny it. I opened a new document on my laptop, titled it Evidence, Identity Theft, Emma Chin. Then I started building. Section 1. Fraudulent Accounts. I listed each account with details. Hartford Savings Bank Personal Loan. Account opened. The 15th of March, 2021. Original amount, $15,000. Current balance, $12,847.63. Monthly payment, $340. 8 months past due. Evidence, bank statement addressed to Emma Chen, forged signature on application. Chase Freedom credit card. Account opened, the 8th of September 2021. Credit limit, $10,000. Current balance, $8,412. Status, 180 days past due. Evidence, monthly statements, transaction history showing soccer-related charges. Capital One Quicksilver credit card. Account opened, the 12th of January 2023. Credit limit, $5,000. Current balance, $4,200. Status, 90 days past due. Evidence, application with forged signature. Statements showing soccer charges. Total fraudulent debt, $25,459.63. Section 2. Forged signatures. I inserted photos of the loan and credit card applications. Next to each, I placed a photo of my actual signature from my driver's license. The differences were obvious. My signature, flowing cursive, specific loop on the E, consistent slant. Forged signature, blocky print cursive hybrid, wrong slant, E, completely different. Any handwriting expert would confirm they didn't match. Section 3. Transaction timeline. I created a table. Date, account, merchant, amount, category. The 22nd of March, 2021. IMASC, Hartford Loan, Northeast Elite Soccer, $1,200. Registration fee. The 10th of April, 2021. Hartford Loan, Dick's Sporting Goods, $340. Equipment. The 3rd of May, 2021. Hartford Loan, Soccer.com, $475. Equipment. I went through every transaction. 4 years of charges. 127 total transactions. Every single one related to Tyler's soccer. Registration fees. Equipment. Tournament travel. Private coaching. Showcase events. Not one charge for me. Not textbooks or rent or food or anything I needed. Just Tyler's soccer. Section 4. False emergency requests. The 14th of November 2024. Mom's text. Emma, water heater died. Emergency repair is $600. Can you help? We'll pay you back. My response? I can send $400. That's all I have right now. Mom's response? You're a lifesaver. Thank you, honey. Love you. Evidence. Water heater manufactured 2019. No service records. Still functional as of June 2025. Bank deposit of $400 from my account on the 15th of November 2024. Chase credit card charge to Northeast Elite Soccer, $925, on the 16th of November 2024. Conclusion. No water heater emergency existed. My $400 was used to cover soccer fees. The 10th of March 2025. Mom's text. Car needs $500 in repairs. Can you send $350? My response, yeah, I can send it tomorrow. Mom's response, thank you so much. You're the best. Evidence. No car repair receipts found. Bank deposit of $350 from my account on the 11th of March 2025. Northeast Elite Soccer charge, $1,100 on the 13th of March 2025. Conclusion. No car repair emergency existed. My $350 was used for soccer fees. Total false emergency extractions, $750. Section 5, Credit Score Damage. Before fraud, May 2024, 720. After fraud, June 2025, 537. Decrease, 183 points. Factors: 8 late payment marks, 3 derogatory marks, 1 collections account, credit utilization at 94%. Impact: cannot qualify for apartment rental, most require 650 plus score. Cannot get car loan. Cannot get additional credit cards. Will fail background checks for employment. Will pay higher insurance rates. Estimated financial impact: $15,000, $25,000 over next 10 years in higher interest rates and denied opportunities. Section 6, Pattern of Favoritism. I added context. Not legal evidence, but narrative evidence. The birthday parties, the prom dress versus the tailored suit, Tyler's $4,500 annual soccer fees versus my $200 debate team budget being denied. The Florida trip charged to my credit card while I ate granola bars during finals. The graduation they missed for a soccer game. A pattern of choosing Tyler over me, of investing in his future while stealing mine. At 7:43 p.m. I finished. 22 pages. 47 pieces of evidence. Photos, bank statements, credit reports, text messages, transaction histories, signature comparisons. Everything. I saved 3 copies. 1 on my laptop. 1 on a USB drive. 1 uploaded to a secure cloud folder. Then I printed 2 physical copies at the Panera printer. 1 for me. 1 for the police. At 8:15 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Dad, where are you?" "It's late." I stared at the message. At the man who'd taught me to ride a bike. Who'd forged my signature on a $15,000 loan. I typed back. "Studying at Panera. Be home soon." He sent back. "Drive safe." I drove home at 8:47 p.m. Walked inside. Mom and Dad were watching TV in the living room. Tyler was upstairs. "There she is," Mom said. "Long day?" "Yeah, studying." "You work too hard." She smiled. "Want some dinner? I saved you a plate." I looked at her. At the woman who'd lied about a water heater. Who'd maxed out credit cards in my name. Who'd texted, "Love you," while destroying my credit score. "Not hungry," I said, and I went upstairs. In my room, I locked the door, slid the evidence folder under my mattress, set an alarm for 8 a.m. Tomorrow, June 12th, I'd go to the New Haven Police Department. Tomorrow, I'd file a report. Tomorrow, I'd officially become the victim in a criminal investigation against my parents. I lay in bed, stared at the ceiling, thought about what Michaela had said. Whatever you decide to do about it isn't cruel, it's self-preservation. Self-preservation. That's what this was. Protecting my future from the people who were supposed to protect it for me. But it didn't feel like self-preservation. It felt like war. And I was about to fire the first shot. June 12th, 8:47 a.m. New Haven Police Department, 1 Union Avenue. I walked through the front doors with my evidence folder and a stomach full of acid. The lobby was fluorescent bright, smelled like coffee and industrial cleaner. A desk sergeant sat behind bulletproof glass. I approached. "I need to file a report," I said. "Identity theft." Detective Luis Ramirez met with me at 9:15 a.m. Mid-40s, tired eyes, coffee-stained tie. He led me to a small interview room. Table, 3 chairs, recording equipment. "Tell me what happened," he said. So I did. For the second time in 2 days, I told the story. Yale, graduation, the bank statement, the forged signatures, the $27,459. I spread my evidence across the table. Detective Ramirez took his time. Read every page. studied every signature, cross-referenced my timeline with the bank statements. 23 minutes of silence while I sat there trying not to throw up. Finally, he looked up. "This is thorough. Thank you. Who opened these accounts?" Deep breath. "My parents, Linda and Robert Chin." He wrote their names down. "You're sure?" "The signatures are my mother's handwriting. The accounts were opened while I was at college. They had access to my social security number, and every charge is for my brother's soccer expenses." "Your brother Tyler, age 16, did he know?" "No." "I don't think so." "No." Detective Ramirez nodded, made more notes. "I'm going to open a case," he said. "Identity theft investigation. Case number 2025NH7841. I'll contact the banks, request account records, verify the signatures." "How long will that take?" "Investigation phase. 3 to 6 months. If the evidence holds up and based on what you've shown me, it will. I'll refer to the state attorney's office for prosecution." Prosecution. The word landed heavy. "What happens to them?" I asked. "If charges are filed, arraignment, trial or plea deal, sentencing. Identity theft is a Class D felony in Connecticut. If convicted, they could face probation, restitution, possibly jail time." Jail time. My parents. In jail. Because of me. "I know this is hard," Detective Ramirez said, "but you're doing the right thing. Identity theft is a serious crime, even when it's family." I nodded. Didn't trust my voice. He handed me paperwork. "Sign here. This officially files the report. I'll also give you an FTC identity theft affidavit to file with the credit bureaus. That'll help with credit repair." I signed. My hand shook, but I signed. "One more thing," he said. "Do your parents know you found out?" "No." "Are you living with them?" "For now. I leave for Yale in August." He frowned. "I'd recommend staying somewhere else. Once we contact the banks, they'll know an investigation is open. That could get confrontational." "I'll figure it out." I left the police station at 10:38 a.m. Case number 2025NH7841 filed. Official victim of identity theft. Official accuser of my parents. I sat in my car for 15 minutes. Couldn't start the engine. Just sat there, hands on the steering wheel, breathing. I'd done it. Filed the report. Started the process. There was no going back now. At 11:02 a.m., I called Priya. "It's done," I said when she answered. "You filed?" "Yeah. Case number assigned. Detectives investigating." "How do you feel?" "Like I just declared war on my own family." "You didn't declare war." "They did when they stole from you." I knew she was right. Didn't make it hurt less. "What happens now?" Priya asked. "Detective contacts the banks. 3 to 6 months of investigation. Then maybe trial." "Where are you staying? You can't go home." "I have to. All my stuff is there. I need to pack for Yale anyway." "Emma." "I'll be fine. They don't know yet. I have time." "Time for what?" I paused. Thought about Tyler's soccer banquet, the one I'd gotten an invitation to 3 days ago. June 15th. 3 days away. End of season celebration at Riverside Country Club. 200 plus guests. Parents, coaches, players, athletic director, principal, everyone who mattered in Tyler's soccer world. Everyone who thought my parents were proud, supportive, invested. "Time to tell the truth," I said. Over the next 2 days, I planned. Not a confrontation, not a private conversation. A reveal. Public, witnessed, undeniable. The soccer banquet was perfect. Mom and Dad would be there, hosting a table. Proud soccer parents celebrating their son's championship season. 200 people who knew them, who'd watched them pour money into Tyler's career, who thought they were model parents. They'd all be in one room, and I'd tell them what that money really cost. I wrote a speech, drafted it 6 times. Cut the emotion, added the facts. No crying. No begging for understanding. Just truth. Cold, documented, undeniable truth. I printed evidence packets. 10 copies. Bank statements. Forged signatures. Transaction histories. Police case number. If they tried to deny it, I'd have proof in my hands. On June 14th, I confirmed with Mom that I'd attend. Me. Still okay if I come tomorrow? Mom, of course, we'd love that. Wear something nice. Something nice. For the night I'd destroy their reputation in front of everyone they knew. I chose my Yale blue dress, the one I'd worn to graduation, the graduation they'd missed. June 15th started at 6 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Hadn't really slept in 3 days. Just lay in bed running through the speech in my head. Over and over. Every word memorized. Every pause planned. At 8 a.m., I got up. Showered. Dried my hair. Put on minimal makeup. Stared at myself in the mirror. You can do this. You have to do this. At 10 a.m., Mom knocked on my door. Morning, honey. Excited for tonight? I opened the door. Yeah. It's going to be so fun. Dad's giving a speech about Tyler's season. Maybe you could say a few words too? About how proud you are of your brother? Maybe, I said. She smiled, kissed my forehead. Love you. Then she left. I texted Priya. Me. Tonight's the night. Priya. You sure about this? Me. No. But I'm doing it anyway. Priya. I can be there, in the back, just in case. Me. Please. Priya. I'll be there. Table 18. You won't be alone. The afternoon crawled. I couldn't eat. Couldn't focus. Just sat in my room with my evidence folder and my printed speech. At 2 p.m., I practiced in front of my mirror one more time. My voice shook on the first run-through. Steadied by the third. By the fifth, it was cold. Good. Cold was better than emotional. Cold was controlled. At 4 p.m., I got dressed. Yale blue dress, black heels, minimal jewelry, pinned my diploma pin to my collar. The one I'd received at graduation. The graduation they'd missed? At 5 p.m., Dad knocked. Em, we're leaving in 30 minutes. I'll meet you there, I said through the door. You sure? We can all ride together. I'm coming from Priya's. I'll see you there. A pause. Okay, see you at 6. I left at 5:15 p.m. Drove to Panera. Met Priya in the parking lot. She hugged me. Last chance to back out. I'm not backing out. Good, because they deserve this. We arrived at Riverside Country Club at 5:47 p.m. The parking lot was already half full. Families streaming in, kids in button-downs and dresses, parents with cameras. I sat in my car. Watched them enter. Normal families, celebrating a soccer season. No idea what was about to happen. At 5:55 p.m., I saw my parents' car. Mom, Dad, and Tyler got out. Tyler looked nervous, excited, kept adjusting his tie. Mom and Dad looked proud, beaming. Like model parents arriving at their son's celebration. They walked inside. I waited 2 minutes, then followed. The crystal ballroom was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows, 23 round tables with white linens, a stage with a podium and microphone, centerpieces, balloons, a banner, Northeast Elite Soccer, Championship Season, 2025, 217 people. I'd counted them while signing in, 217 witnesses. Table 1 was front and center, reserved for my family, Mom, Dad, Tyler, and 2 empty seats. I sat down next to Tyler. He grinned. Em, you made it. Wouldn't miss it, I said. Mom squeezed my hand. So glad you're here. Dad smiled. Family together. This is perfect. Perfect. I set my purse down. Inside, evidence folder, printed speech, phone recording just in case. Priya texted from table 18 inches the back. Priya, I see you. At 6:15 p.m., dinner was served. Chicken, roasted vegetables, salad. I pushed food around my plate. Couldn't eat. Mom noticed. You okay, honey? Just nervous, I said. About what? I'm thinking of saying something. About Tyler. Her face lit up. Oh, Emma, that would be wonderful. He'd love that. Yeah, I said. I think it's time everyone knew the truth. She smiled, completely oblivious. At 7 p.m., the speeches started. Coach Martinez went first, talked about the season, the playoffs, the championship. Everyone applauded. Then Athletic Director Stevens spoke, praised the team's dedication. More applause. At 7:18 p.m., Dad stood up, walked to the podium, adjusted the microphone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Chen, Tyler's dad. Applause. This season has been incredible. Watching my son grow as an athlete, as a leader, as a young man, it's been the honor of my life. He talked about Tyler's saves, his work ethic, his future. We've invested everything we have into his success, because that's what parents do. We sacrifice, we support, we show up. We show up. The irony was suffocating. Dad finished his speech. Everyone applauded. He walked back to our table. Mom squeezed his hand. Beautiful, honey. The MC returned to the podium. Thank you, Robert. Now, before we move to dessert, does anyone else have a few words? This was it. I stood up. Mom looked surprised. Emma? I want to say something. She beamed. Go ahead, honey. I picked up my purse. Walked to the podium. Every step felt like walking underwater. 217 people watched me approach. I reached the podium, adjusted the microphone, set my evidence folder on the podium ledge, looked out at the crowd, at my parents, smiling proudly at table 1, at Tyler, confused but supportive, at Priya in the back, phone ready. I took a breath, and I began. Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Chen, Tyler's older sister. Polite applause. Smiles from the crowd. Mom mouths. Proud of you. I want to talk about sacrifice. Nods from parents. Murmurs of agreement. About what it takes to fund elite athletics. The training. The travel. The tournaments. More nods. Tyler's soccer career costs about $12,000 a year. Private coaching. Equipment. Northeast elite fees. Dad smiles. Nods. But here's what nobody in this room knows. The smiles start to fade. My parents didn't pay for it. Confusion ripples through the tables. Mom's smile freezes. I did. Silence. Except I didn't know I was paying for it. I pull out the first document. Hold it up. On May 22nd, I graduated from Yale University, molecular biology, full ride scholarship. A few people start to applaud. I raise my hand. They stop. My parents didn't come. Gasps. Someone at table 7 glances at my parents. They were here instead, at Tyler's playoff game. More gasps. Tyler's face goes pale. I found out why they couldn't take a day off. I hold up the Hartford savings statement. Because for the past 4 years they've been committing identity theft against me. The room goes completely silent. Someone drops a fork. It clatters on a plate. The sound echoes. Mom stands. Emma, this is not the time. You made it the time when you forged my signature on a $15,000 loan? I hold up the loan document. Hartford Savings Bank, $15,000. Opened the 15th of March, 2021. In my name. I hold up my driver's license next to it. This is my real signature. This, I point to the loan, is a forgery. Whispers explode across the room. That's not all. I pull out the credit card statements. Chase Freedom, $8,400. Opened September 2021. I never applied for it. Capital One, $4,200. Opened January 2023. also without my knowledge. Total fraudulent debt, $27,459. Someone in the front row gasps audibly. Principal Howard's mouth hangs open. Every single charge on these accounts? Tyler's soccer. I pull out the transaction history. Read it aloud. Northeast Elite Soccer Club, $1,200. Dick's Sporting Goods, $340. Florida Showcase Tournament, $2,100. My voice doesn't shake. Not anymore. While I worked 3 jobs at Yale to afford textbooks, they were charging Tyler's tournament fees to credit cards in my name. Phones start coming out. At least 30 people recording now. While I sent them money for family emergencies, I make air quotes, they were using it to make minimum payments on fraudulent accounts. I pull out the text messages, project them on my phone screen, hold it up. November 14th, 2024. My mother texts, water heater died, needs $600. I sent $400, that's all I had. 2 days later, they charged $925 to Tyler's soccer club. The water heater was fine, I checked, still working today. Murmurs crescendo into shocked conversations. Coach Martinez stares at my parents. Athletic Director Stevens stands mouth open. Dad tries to interrupt. Emma, it was supposed to be a loan. You can't take a loan someone doesn't know about, I cut him off. That's called theft. Tyler is crying now. Stands up. I didn't know. I swear I didn't. I look at him. Soften. I know, Ty. This isn't your fault. I turn back to the crowd. Here's what happens when your parents commit identity theft. I pull out my credit report. My credit score was 720 when I graduated high school. Today it's 537. I can't rent an apartment, can't get a car loan, can't pass background checks for jobs. My financial future, the one I worked 4 years at Yale to build, was destroyed, so my brother could play soccer. The room erupts. Half the people are standing. Conversations explode. Someone near the back yells, "Oh my God!" Principal Howard walks toward my parents' table. Mr. and Mrs. Chin, I think you need to leave. Mom's crying now. Emma, please, we can explain. You can explain to the police. I hold up the final document. Case number 2025NH7841. Filed June 12th. New Haven Police Department. Identity theft investigation. Detective Luis Ramirez is investigating. The banks have been notified. The state attorney will determine whether to press charges. Mom tries to approach the stage. Coach Martinez steps in front of her. Ma'am, you need to go. Dad grabs Mom's arm. Linda, we need to leave. Now. Athletic Director Stevens walks to our table. Tyler, we need to discuss your scholarship status. The school gave financial aid based on need. If your family was funding elite soccer with fraud. Tyler sobs. I didn't know. I swear. I believe you, Stevens says, but we'll need to investigate. My parents rush toward the exit. Faces red. Mom crying. Dad's jaw clenched. Someone near the door boos. Then another person. Then a slow clap starts. 40 people join. Not everyone, but enough. I pick up my evidence folder. Look at the crowd one last time. My parents chose Tyler's soccer over my graduation, over my credit, over my future. I chose the truth. I step away from the microphone, walk off the stage. Priya rushes to me, hugs me. You did it. Holy shit, you did it. Strangers approach. A mother from table 9. That took so much courage. A father from table 14. If my wife did that to our daughter, I'd... 3 other parents. We believe you. You're brave. Tyler runs to me, sobbing. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I hug him. I know, Ty. We'll talk later. This isn't about you. Coach Martinez approaches, shakes his head. I had no idea. If I'd known where the money was coming from, you couldn't have known, I say. Outside in the parking lot, I collapse against Priya's car. 7:51 p.m. It's done. I check my phone. 48 missed calls. 127 texts. Mom, Emma, please, we need to talk. Dad, this is a misunderstanding. Aunt Carol, what the hell happened? Your mother is hysterical. Unknown numbers. Saw the video. You're amazing. Your parents are criminals. Wait. Video? I open Facebook. Someone's husband posted it. Identity theft exposed at soccer banquet. Public post. 14,000 views already. Comments flooding in. I watch 30 seconds. My voice clear through the phone recording. They've been committing identity theft against me. The crowd's reaction. The gasps. The phones coming out. Mom's face draining of color in real time. I close the app. Look at Priya. It's everywhere. Good, she says. Let everyone see it. Let everyone know what they did. We sit in her car, windows down, night air cool on my face. For the first time in weeks, I can breathe. It's done. The truth is out. 217 witnesses, 14,000 video views and climbing. Documented, public, undeniable. My parents can't lie their way out of this. Can't gaslight me into thinking I'm overreacting. Can't pretend it never happened. Because everyone knows now. And there's no coming back from that. By 9:37 p.m., my phone had become a weapon. 48 missed calls had turned into 93. Text messages flooded in faster than I could read them. The video someone's husband had filmed my entire speech was everywhere. Priya drove me to her apartment. I couldn't go home. Couldn't face them yet. We sat on her couch while my phone buzzed non-stop on the coffee table. At 11 p.m., the video hit 14,000 views. By 11:30, 22,000. Comments poured in from strangers. Your parents are monsters. This happened to my cousin. Sue them for everything. Mom called 16 times between 9 p.m. and midnight. I didn't answer. Dad texted, "We need to talk. This is a family matter." I blocked him. Tyler texted at 12:47 a.m. "I'm staying at Grandma's. Mom and Dad are fighting. I love you. I'm so sorry." I wrote back, "Love you too. None of this is your fault." Aunt Carol, Dad's sister, called at 1:15 a.m. I answered. "Emma, what the hell happened?" I told her everything. She was silent for a long time. Then, "I believe you. I'm coming to get Tyler tomorrow. He can stay with me as long as he needs." "Thank you," I whispered. "Your parents?" She stopped. Started again. "I can't believe they did this. I'm so sorry, Emma." By morning, the video had 340,000 views. Local news outlets requested interviews. I declined all of them. The truth was out. That was enough. Detective Ramirez emailed at 7:13 a.m. Saw the video. "This strengthens the case significantly. Call me when you're ready." Yale's Dean of Students emailed at 8:45 a.m. "We heard what happened. Student support services are available. Your scholarship is secure." My phone didn't stop buzzing for 48 hours, but I'd survived. The truth was public, and there was no taking it back. The legal process moved faster than I expected. On July 12th, exactly 1 month after I filed the police report, Detective Ramirez called. "The state's attorney is filing charges: identity theft, forgery, fraudulent use of personal identifying information. 3 counts each against both parents." My stomach dropped. "Both of them?" "Your mother was the primary applicant on all accounts. Your father co-signed documents and benefited from the fraud. Legally, he's equally culpable." I sat down. "When's the arraignment?" "August 3rd, Hartford Superior Court. You don't have to attend, but you can if you want to." "I don't want to see them." "Understood." Attorney Warren can represent your interests as the victim. I didn't go to the arraignment. Michaela Warren went on my behalf. Called me afterward with the update. They both pleaded not guilty. Bail set at $10,000 each. Robert's brother posted it. What happens next? Pre-trial hearings. Discovery. The prosecutor has your evidence plus the bank records Detective Ramirez obtained. It's a strong case, Emma. They'll likely offer a plea deal. What kind of deal? Reduced charges in exchange for a guilty plea. Probably probation, restitution, community service. The goal is to avoid trial. Do I get a say? The state prosecutes, but your victim impact statement will matter. If you want jail time, you can request it. If you want restitution and probation, you can request that too. I thought about it. About my parents in prison. About Tyler losing both parents to the system. I want restitution, I said. Full repayment. And probation so they can't do this to anyone else. But I don't want them in prison. I'll communicate that to the prosecutor. On October 15th, the pre-trial hearing happened. The prosecutor offered a plea deal. Plea, guilty to Class A, misdemeanor identity theft, reduced from felony. Sentencing. 2 years probation, both parents. 200 hours community service each. Full restitution, $27,459 paid to Emma Chen. Over 3 years, $763. Month. Credit repair ordered, all fraudulent accounts removed. Emma's credit restored. Conditions. If restitution paid in full and probation completed without violation, no felony on record. If they fail, original felony charges reinstated. My parents accepted on November 1st. They didn't want a trial, didn't want more publicity, didn't want to risk 5 years in prison. The sentencing hearing was December 18th. I didn't attend, but I submitted a victim impact statement. Michaela read it aloud in court. My parents didn't steal money, they stole my ability to trust. They stole my graduation day. They stole my sense of safety in my own family. They used my identity, my name, my social security number, my future to fund my brother's hobby while I worked 3 jobs to survive. The financial damage can be repaired with time and restitution. The emotional damage is permanent. I will never look at them the same way. I will never feel safe around them again. What they did wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. 4 years of choices. And now they have to live with the consequences. The judge's response, according to Michaela, parental betrayal of this magnitude is unconscionable. You exploited your daughter's identity to fund your son's extracurricular activities. You forged documents. You lied to financial institutions. You destroyed her credit and endangered her future. This court finds your conduct reprehensible. Sentence. 2 years probation. 200 hours community service each. $27,459 restitution. $763. Month, starting January 2026. Mandatory credit repair coordination. No contact with victim unless she initiates. On the 15th of January 2026, the first restitution check arrived. $763. Memo line. Restitution, Emma Chen. Signed by Robert Chen. I deposited it. Didn't respond, didn't call, didn't acknowledge. It was a legal obligation, not an olive branch. The family fractured immediately. Team Emma. Tyler moved in with Aunt Carol, quit soccer entirely, started community college. Aunt Carol, Dad's sister, furious at her brother. Grandma Chen, Dad's mother, apologized to me, chose me. Cousin Melissa reached out. Said Mom did something similar to her in 2015. Team Linda and Robert. Uncle Steve, Dad's brother, sent me a nasty email. You destroyed this family over money. I blocked him. Aunt Marie and Aunt Susan, Mom's sisters, defended her. She was trying to help Tyler. I went no contact. Neutral, tried to stay out of it. Uncle James, Mom's brother, tried to mediate. I told him there was nothing to mediate. Extended family reactions were mixed. Grandma Chen called me in January 2026, crying. I should have seen it. I should have protected you. I'm so sorry, Emma. It's not your fault, Grandma. I knew they favored Tyler. I didn't know they were stealing from you. If I'd known, you couldn't have known. They hid it. She sent me a check for $5,000 for what they took from you. I tried to refuse, she insisted. Let me do this. Let me help make it right. I accepted, paid off some of my legitimate student loans. Cousin Melissa, who I barely knew, reached out in February. Emma, I saw the video. I need to tell you something. She explained. In 2015, when she was 24, Mom had opened a store credit card in Melissa's name, charged $3,800 to it. Melissa only found out when it went to collections. I confronted her. She cried, apologized, said it was an emergency. I let it go. I shouldn't have. Maybe if I'd reported her then, she wouldn't have done it to you. It's not your fault, I said. I should have pressed charges. I wish I had. You were 24 and scared. I get it. We became close after that. She understood in a way no one else could. Tyler and I talked every week. He'd quit soccer the day after the banquet. Couldn't look at a ball without feeling sick. Every time I see my old gear, I think about what it cost you, he said during a call in March 2026. Ty, that wasn't your fault. But I benefited. I got the training, the tournaments, the equipment. You got debt. You didn't ask for any of that. You didn't know. I should have known. I should have questioned why we could afford all that soccer stuff, but you were always working. He started therapy in April. Aunt Carol found him a counselor who specialized in family trauma. It helped. By summer, he'd started graphic design classes at community college. Found something he loved that had nothing to do with soccer. I'm good at it, he told me in July, and it doesn't come with guilt. My parents' social consequences were immediate and severe. Mom lost her job at the dental office in February 2026. Background check during routine review flagged the probation. Ethics violation was the official reason. She found work at Target 3 months later. Part-time. $15. Hour. Dad was demoted at his engineering firm. Moved from project lead to junior engineer. Pay cut of $30,000 year. They had to sell the house. Couldn't afford the mortgage with reduced income and restitution payments. Moved to a 2-bedroom apartment in West Hartford in March 2026. Their church small group asked them to leave. Too much drama, according to Aunt Carol. Who heard from someone who heard from someone? Mom's book club stopped inviting her. Dad's coworkers avoided him in the break room. Neighbors who'd known them for 15 years stopped waving. Social death is real, and they experienced it fully. They never apologized. Not really. Mom sent a letter to Aunt Carol's house in May 2027. Asked Carol to give it to me. I read it once. Emma, I'm sorry for everything. I know you're angry. I understand. We made mistakes. We were trying to give Tyler opportunities we never had. We didn't think about how it would affect you. We thought we'd pay it back before you noticed. I know that doesn't make it okay. I just want you to know, we love you. We always have. We're proud of you. I hope someday you can forgive us. Love, Mom. I filed it in a folder labeled Legal Identity Theft. Didn't respond. Because we made mistakes wasn't an apology. We didn't think wasn't accountability. We thought we'd pay it back wasn't remorse. It was an excuse. Dad left one voicemail in December 2027. Emma, it's Dad. I know you won't forgive me. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. For all of it. I was wrong. We were wrong. I hope you're doing well at your job. I hope you're happy. That's all, bye. I deleted it. Blocked the number. By December 2027, their probation ended. All restitution paid. Community service completed. The court dismissed the charges as agreed. No felony on their records. They were legally free. But our relationship was over. It's been 3 years since that banquet. I'm 25 now, and my life is completely different. Financial recovery. All fraudulent accounts were removed from my credit report by May 2026. It took 11 months of documentation, disputes, and phone calls with credit bureaus, but it's done. My credit score today, 712. Not perfect, but functional. Rebuilt with a secured credit card, on-time payments, and patience. The $27,459 in restitution was paid in full by December 2027. Every month, like clockwork, $763 appeared in my account. I never missed a payment because it was court-ordered. I used it to pay off my legitimate student loans, $8,200 in loans I'd actually taken out for textbooks and lab fees, paid off by March 2027. Today, I have $14,300 in savings, an emergency fund, real security, no debt, good credit, financial independence. Everything they tried to steal, I rebuilt. Career success. I graduated from Yale in May 2025, molecular biology degree, magna cum laude. In June 2025, I was hired at Moderna in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Research Associate I, working on mRNA vaccine development. Starting salary, $68,000, year. I got promoted in January 2028. Research Associate 2, now making $74,000. I've co-authored 2 published papers, my name in academic journals, proof that I'm building something real. I rent a 1-bedroom apartment in Somerville. $1,850 month. It's small, but it's mine. No one can take it from me. Relationships rebuilt. Tyler is 19 now, community college sophomore studying graphic design. He's talented, really talented. We see each other twice a month. Sometimes I drive down to Connecticut. Sometimes he takes the train up to Boston. We're closer now than we ever were growing up. Shared trauma does that. He still feels guilty. I keep telling him he shouldn't. He's working on it in therapy. Priya graduated Columbia Law in May 2027. She's a public defender in Brooklyn now. We text daily. Visit monthly. She was the first person to believe me. I'll never forget that. Aunt Carol became like a second mom. She hosts Thanksgiving and Christmas. Tyler and I spend holidays with her instead of our parents. Grandma Chen calls me every Sunday. We talk for an hour. She tells stories about Dad as a kid. I listen. It helps me remember he was human before he was a criminal. Emotional healing. I started therapy in June 2025. Bi-weekly sessions with Dr. Amanda Lee. She specializes in family trauma and financial abuse. It's helped. Not in a everything's fine now way, more in a I can function without constant anxiety way. I've learned. My value isn't determined by their choices. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary. Forgiveness isn't required for healing. Dr. Lee taught me that identity theft isn't just financial, it's emotional. They didn't just steal my credit score, they stole my ability to trust family. That takes longer to rebuild than a credit report. But I'm working on it. I'm dating someone. Marcus, 27, software engineer. We met at a coffee shop in September 2027. He knows everything. I told him on our 3rd date. Figured if it scared him off, better to know early. It didn't scare him off. My family's complicated too, he said. Everyone's got something. We've been together 6 months now. It's healthy. He respects my boundaries, doesn't push when I need space. It's the first relationship I've had where I feel safe. Current relationship status with parents. I haven't spoken to them since the 15th of June 2025. The night of the banquet. 1,094 days ago. 3 years of no contact. They're blocked on everything. Phone, email, social media. They send letters to Aunt Carol's house occasionally. She asks if I want them. I always say no. I don't read them anymore. Because there's nothing they can say that would change what they did. Tyler says they don't talk about me. They pretend it never happened. They've rewritten history in their minds, made themselves the victims. Mom tells people you overreacted to a misunderstanding, Tyler said last month. Dad says you were always dramatic. I laughed, not because it was funny, because of course they did. Narcissists never accept accountability. Do I miss them? No. I miss the parents I thought I had. The ones who promised to frame my Ivy League diploma. The ones who said, we wouldn't miss it for the world. But those parents never existed. The real ones forged my signature, stole my identity, missed my graduation for a soccer game. I don't miss those people. Will I ever forgive them? I don't know. People ask me that a lot. Therapists, extended family, even Marcus asked once. Honestly, I don't think about them enough to decide. Forgiveness isn't required for healing. Distance is. And I have plenty of distance now. On forgiveness, here's what I've learned. Forgiveness is for the forgiver, not the forgiven. If forgiving them would bring me peace, I'd consider it. But it wouldn't. What brings me peace is knowing they can't hurt me anymore. They can't open accounts in my name. They can't lie to me about emergencies. They can't guilt me into being the easy kid who doesn't cause problems. That's the peace I needed. Not reconciliation, protection. Lessons learned. Family is a verb, not a noun. It's what you do, not who you're related to. Blood doesn't entitle anyone to your future, or your credit score, or your trust. You can grieve who they should have been while refusing who they actually are. Financial abuse is real abuse. It's not complicated family dynamics, it's theft. If someone uses your identity without permission, even family, that's a crime. You don't owe loyalty to people who exploit you. Exposing the truth isn't cruel. Committing the crime was cruel. I didn't destroy the family. They did when they chose fraud over honesty. I just refused to keep their secret. Final reflection. On the 22nd of May 2025, I crossed a stage alone. Empty seats where my parents should have been. I felt invisible, worthless, like 4 years of achievement meant nothing because they didn't witness it. But I was wrong. My achievement wasn't for them. It was for me. I earned Yale. I earned the scholarship. I earned the degree. They didn't give me those things. They tried to steal them. But they couldn't. Because my worth isn't measured by their validation. Today, my diploma hangs in my living room. Yale blue frame. Next to it, a photo from my second graduation ceremony. The one I held for myself in May 2026, 1 year late. Priya's there. Tyler, Aunt Carol, Grandma Chen, Marcus. People who actually showed up. That photo is my real family. Not the people who share my DNA. The people who chose me, who believed me, who stayed. I have a life they can't touch. A career I earned, an apartment I rent, savings I built, credit I repaired. A future I own. People ask if I regret exposing them. Never. Not once. Because I chose truth over comfort. Justice over silence. Myself over them. And I'd make the same choice every time. I am enough. I always was. I just had to lose them to find that out. If you're listening to this and it sounds familiar, you're not alone. Financial abuse happens in families more than people realize. Identity theft by parents, stolen college funds, forged signatures. It's real. It's devastating. And it's not your fault. Here's what I want you to know. Check your credit report. Right now. Annualcreditreport.com. It's free. Look for accounts you didn't open. You don't owe forgiveness to people who aren't sorry. You owe yourself protection. Exposing abuse isn't betrayal. Committing abuse is betrayal. You can love people from a distance. No contact isn't failure. It's self-preservation. To everyone who worked 3 jobs while family members spent money they didn't have. To everyone who sent emergency money that was never used for emergencies. To everyone who walked across a stage alone. You're not invisible. Your achievement is real, and you deserved better. I'm Emma Chen. I graduated from Yale with a full scholarship. I work at Moderna developing vaccines. I rebuilt my credit from 537 to 712. I have $14,300 in savings and zero debt. I did it without them. And you can too. This is Achiever Betrayed, where achievement meets betrayal, and we choose ourselves anyway. Thank you for listening.